Hi, I'm Malia Alexander, author of sassy, sexy, contemporary romances, including my newest release, Driven to Temptation.
And I'm Tana Finsky, author of quirky romantic comedies, including my new release, The Hang-Up.
We're both Oregon authors who share a few things besides a home state, a publisher, and a release date.
Both our books feature a lot of sexy humor and settings in the Pacific Northwest.
They also include plenty of witty dialogue and a really fun opposites attract theme.
That's why our publicist told us it would be a good idea to team up and do a little reading from scenes in each of our books.
I'm going to be reading a scene from Driven to Temptation where my buttoned-up hero and my tomboy heroine end up in bed together.
And I'm going to be doing a reading from The Hang-Up where my outdoorsy hero takes my indoorsy city girl heroine on a cave tour.
She tilted her head back as a rush of adrenaline blasted through her. He cupped her bottom and she spread her legs wider.
There are no spiders, Jason said, reading her thoughts. It's too dark in there and there's no reliable food source.
God, he was good, moving his tongue around her bud, first with light strokes, barely there strokes, then rougher, harder, sucking and gently pulling.
He plunked the helmet on her head, then began to cinch the straps to tighten it. Miriam leaned into his hand just a little. How does that feel?
It felt so damned good the way his tongue rolled over her tight bud before he gently sucked and pulled. The pleasure intensified, rocketed through her, and Delaney arched off the bed, offered him more.
He palmed the top of her head and wiggled the helmet, then adjusted the dials again. There, that's better. You want to make sure it's not going to come loose when you bonk your head on a rock.
She groaned as a burst of light flashed behind closed eyelids. In slow circles, she ground her hips against him.
Okay, he said, pulling on his own pair of gloves. It's going to get really narrow here, and we're going to have to crawl for a bit.
She ground her feet into the bed, arched her back, and clawed at his upper arms. I want more.
About another 10 feet. You're going to hit a really sharp turn in just a second. Just follow it to the left.
Aiden raised up on his knees and positioned himself between her legs.
He gestured her toward the opening. Miriam crawled through, but struggled to keep her breathing even. She banged her knee on a rock, but kept going.
With one smooth thrust, he lodged himself, completely to the hilt, and stilled.
She squeezed herself through the passageway. How are you doing this? You're like a foot taller than me.
It felt so good, so right. Delaney closed her eyes and whimpered.
Sorry about that, he said. I was reaching for that rock behind you and you moved.
You feel so damned good, she whispered as she canted her hips, taking him deeper. So good.
He followed close behind her. I've had a lot of practice squeezing into tight spaces.
Yeah, I think that worked out well.
A perfect match.
Like chocolate and peanut butter.
Like wine and cheese.
Or Hall & Oates.
For a bigger taste of our brand new contemporary romances, check out my new release, The Hang-Up.
And grab a copy of my newest release, Driven to Temptation.
They're both on sale now from Entangled Publishing.
I don't think I could do that again.